So part of what I put out over the years has always been partly about this plasma event that's constantly building up, and the storms and the outages, everything that I've, through my research and everything that I know through my own intuition and everything else that's building up, that we've said will happen in connection with this plasma event, with this build up of this plasma through these fields, is taking place. Now, me personally, I've taken it to the extent where I know it, to the extent where I haven't adjusted my life. I've adjusted my life not just to suit the other scenario that's incoming, right? But the overarching, the main scenario is this one. And what I've always said is, you need to be in rural areas away from the cities. Now, a psychopath, if a psychopath knows that there's a naturally occurring energetic event that incomes and alters the reality, and there's nothing that nobody can do about it, then they will turn the screw. They would turn the screw, and their level of control would actually become ridiculously intense, because that's just how someone with psychopathy is going to see it. And what they're also going to do is they're going to build underground bunkers so that they can try and escape it, because they are working with a script and they know what's going to happen because it's already happened before, because it's a script and the script just keeps replaying itself. It's also connected with synchronicity. So the conscious awakening that we see is actually a synchronicity. It's a phase coherence, a coherence that we're having with the physical reality. So we're becoming coherent with the actual truth. But this synchronicity that is constantly increasing, that I've always spoken about as well, time diminishing is all a part of this. Time diminishes, as I've always said, and synchronicity increases. That is a part of this plasma event. Now, the purple sky phenomena, right, has constantly grown and grown and grown. And now we have this event in Birmingham, England, which I've also been speaking about the UK being a key area, right? Now, this happened, right, at the same moment just before certain events took place, right? Which in actual fact, I'm going to speak about, that'll be on the video before this one anyway. So the event that we've had, that we've seen, the outages that we've seen in Portugal, right? They were in Spain as well. And the amount of rain, it was flash flooding. The rain, I've been researching this for years. I've been studying it so intensely. I've been watching it across this earth, right? The flash flooding, the landslides, the power, because the plasma will cause the power outages, because you've got a plasma is a field of, it's a cluster of fields, right? So here, now the background, you can see the background because of the gases in the atmosphere. So it's oxygen and nitrogen gases, right? The ionization, and then what you've got now is you've got this heavy buildup of plasma. So what it's letting us know, what's actually happening, is it's going to cause it's causing disruptions. So I'll just play a little bit of this.
Hello guys, welcome again. So I've never seen the sky like this before, and this is what is happening to the sky. The sky is really purple, guys. Look at that, it's snowing, and this is what's happening right now. That's the sky, guys. I've never seen anything like this before. This is the sky.
Now, because people are so uninformed, they just don't know anything anyway, right? Because of, input is, rubbish input, rubbish output. So there were people that thought that this had happened because the local football club in the area, Aston Villa local football club in the area, was doing something to do with the football club, the lighting or something. That's how pathetic it is. And that is a part of this event. They've created it so that nobody will know what it is that they're actually seeing when it just starts to fill the whole sky. Nobody will know what it is. So there's the control, because look, you've got these masts. Look, what is that? Right, the masts and the level of control will come in because the event is building up slowly. You've got two things happening at the same time. You've got the weather weapons that are being used, and then also you have the plasma event incoming as well, right? Which is building up, and it's building up slowly. There was this like a kind of a fear campaign. People thought it was coming in early on around 2020 and stuff like that, but it's not. It's just going to keep building up and building up and building up, and it will build up slowly, right? So then, from that, right, what we have is this, right? So then, if I go to here, this is the Carrington event, 1859, which is 1895, 923, as I've always stated. Now 923. Now there's other images of this, other depictions and drawings that people have done with this. They seen it as the sun incoming, and it just they start destroying everything, right? But what actually happened is 1859, right? The telegraph poles were destroyed. Now in Portugal, 61 poles went down. Now listen to this, right? If you look around, you'll see the electric, and they had this synchronized all this together. So the Super Bowl, which was the guy Bad Bunny, I'm not going to put it on, but the Super Bowl, right? They showed the electric pylons, right? Because I think there were outages in South America as well. Like in Portugal, there were outages, ridiculous outages here, right? Now, if you look around wherever you are in the world, the electric pylons, they are going to be the first things to go. They're the first things to go. So that means that just like in Mad Max, when he cut off the water, they can just easily cut off the electric. We've seen it now, right? They just cut that off, and if you're not ready, you're done. You're done. If you're heavily entrenched in this construct as it is, this futuristic type of transhumanism construct, and they turn it off, you're done. You're going back 200 years. This is why the mindset has to be correct. You have to adjust the mindset to adjust it to complement nature. The mindset has to be adjusted. The psychology has to be right to do this. So 1859 gives us 923, which is 23. Now then, this Epstein Island, you see these lines here. There's 14 lines, which gives us 14. Now 14, which is 5 again, which I've already said, 9 and 5 interchangeable. 9 is recycling. Dead. Die is 9. To recycle, you have to die. Resurrection. Osiris was cut up into 14 parts. 13. Isis stand 13. That's 14 and 13, so that's 9 again. Right. Now he represents the underworld. He represents death and resurrection. When you go onto this what they're showing as an island, these beings are going there to embark upon an initiating ritual that brings about a death and a rebirth situation. Like it's probably some type of MK Ultra type of situation. When you come out different. When you go there, you come out different because of all of the dark workings that they actually work in there. But 1859, 923 is here. So you see how the construct works through letter and number, right? These are frequencies that govern the reality. So 1859, 23, if you go back to my boards, you'll see it's all there. 23 equals end. Gematria, simple gematria using Pythagorean numerology, 23 is end. 1859, 923, right? And that's what happened here with this event. So these things are all coming together and they're key. So what you have here, so the petroglyphs, and then you've got these petroglyphs. So in times gone, when this has happened before, because it doesn't happen overnight, they're not telling us the truth, right? You have the wipeout scenarios, right? And that's where you get the Tartaria of 1800s, right? So and the beings, what were they? You look at somewhere like Tartaria, you say they were conscious, they're working with plasma and so on and so forth. So as that plasma comes in, the level of consciousness rises, just like our consciousness level is rising. Slowly rising, but it's rising, right? The petroglyphs, they drew them because this is what when the plasma, it's called Z pinches. When the lightning in comes at this ridiculous rate, and also the sky was closer, it will be as though you will see the background. There's an image actually where there's some crazy stuff out there. There's one where you can see a man in the sky, right? Where the sky lights up, you can see a man in the sky, you can see the background. Now anyway, when the plasma event goes down, when it goes off, you will start to see drawings in almost people in the sky, because the plasma is conscious. It's like almost giving you symbols and messages. This is what you see here, and in this ancient world, right? You see, look at that. If you look at how that is, it's warning us. That is not just some small aurora borealis. This is coming and changing the whole reality, right? Here, the red auroras were considered a sign of ill omens during medieval times, and obviously the pilgrims were organised to avert the wrath of heaven, because the psyche of nature is connected to our psyche, right? So it will feel as though, and it does feel as though, this is incoming, because the whole world is in a state of devastation. It's ridiculous level of slavery. You know, nothing works properly. The mental state of the people is totally ill, and you can see it. So it's showing you. If you look at these beings here on the left hand side, they almost represent death. It's a dead period. It's a dead period when this scenario is incoming. So this is why we have to speak about it. So the glyphs, that's the we'll talk about that. It's a difference to do with the facial recognition that's incoming in England that they've got there now. So you can't even walk around the street, right? So here, the Dogon Kanunga, these are seen in the sky. This is what was seen. Then the Dogon then had it as their symbol. But this is it. This one at the very bottom, experiment simulation on the left, right? This is experiment simulation of plasma, actually creating this symbol. So we know that plasma does that. It does it, and it's what was seen all around the world. It was seen. Look at this, seen all around the world at the same time, because there was a plasma event coming and wiping everything out on the surface. Especially if you're in cities where there's lots of metal around, right? So these beings went into the cave, waited for it to go down, and then came back up onto the surface. So I just find it to be really, really important, because we tend to forget. Those that knew about a lot of this, especially if you was on my Facebook, I was always talking about it. Because I work with plasma, so I know plasma, right? And these storms and the outages and the flash flooding, it's not just this weather weapon. It's not just geoengineering. It's because there's a naturally occurring phenomena, event, electromagnetic changeover, build-up that is taking place within the atmosphere, that is coming in, that is going to create a resetting of this whole reality. It is definitely going to take place. And the purple skies are a symbol of that, because it's a build-up of the ridiculous level of fields that are in the atmosphere that was shown there in the United Kingdom that I showed at the beginning. So I just wanted to quickly skate over that. You can go much, much deeper into it. I've got some really big files on it, especially with the petroglyphs and everything else that was drawn, where people think it's just drawing animals or zodiac signs in the sky, and they're not. They were trying to depict to us what they could see in the sky that was coming in and was actually resetting the whole of the reality. And it was having an effect upon the consciousness of the beings here, where people start to synchronize. Like when people take LSD, they start talking at the same time. The level of synchronicity was increasing to a ridiculous rate. And this is where I think you get this rapturous talk from, where everybody was going up towards the sky, because the gravity, because what we call gravity, the buoyancy, etc. Because of pressure mediation all changes, and people start to come off the floor and levitate and all sorts of stuff. So we got a lot of work to do to prepare for such an event. I've been preparing for it, and I've taken my whole self and put myself in a position to be able to ride it through, if that is possible, which I do think that is the case. There are certain points, ley line points across the earth, where you will be able to do that, but we have to prepare for it, and they are constantly creating distractions. All of this digital prison, everything, it is a distraction, because they want to hold you there so that you will be trapped in it, so that they can get away and be here once the event, once it plays out, and then they come back to the surface and then try to continue the control system all over again. So we'll see you on the next one.